What is up? How's everybody doing? Man, that was some of the worst conditions that I've seen for a supercross race. That was absolutely horrible. So let's see here if I can see you guys' chat. Let's see who's in here. Nobody yet. We're gonna hang tight for a second. Brandon, what's happening, dude? That was absolutely insane. Can you hear me all right? Just somebody give me a thumbs up or let me know you can hear me. And I will get into some of the breakdowns tonight. It was rough. Um, A and B Films, what's happening? Yeah, dude, I'll say this. Being the commentator is not easy, but Ricky does the worst job that I've ever heard of anyone. And I'm not just talking about the stuttering and the ridiculous stuff. Like, this dude can't think. I don't know where somebody told him he needed to make comparisons and compare things to wheelbarrows and cars. Oh my God, it was embarrassing. Like, just stop. Just give us race analysis, give us your opinion. And I don't mind if he stutters. But what I mind is that damn lozenge he has in his mouth. So Jamie Johnson, what's happening? Hey, I see this. Danger Boy is absolutely hurt. It's a wrist injury. I don't know how bad it is. They're being quiet. He's going to try and line up, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, Prado looked pretty good. He won the heat. I mean, it was mud, so you can kind of throw everything else out the window. But here's the thing about a mud race, guys: the mud will make you confident. It doesn't matter if it's mud, not mud, whatever. If you win a race, you gain confidence. Confidence makes you better. Um, let's start here. Let's start with the 250s, guys. We'll go with that first. Spike, what's happening? Prado's sister. You know what, Michael Treese? I have to say, I definitely think Prado's sister is smoking hot. So yeah, I agree with you there. She seems really classy. She speaks well. She's got that accent. I don't know what else to say. She's definitely something else. Let's start with the 250s. Joe Shimoda is done. Um, I hate to say it, and it sucks to say that this early, but he's closer to the amount of points that Michael Mosman has, and he's debuting next week. You know, he's got 18 points. He got 0 points, which I think it's a dumbass rule. If you make the main event, you should get a point. This whole 22nd place gets 0 points is garbage. You should get 1 point if you made the main. That is horrible. Maybe if you don't complete a lap, maybe don't give him the point like Phil last week. But if you get 22nd place, you made the main at a supercross, you deserve a damn point. That's all I have to say on that. Jordan Smith, guys, I think this is the year he gets it done. He's not in the same coast as Danger. Not that that would matter since Danger's hurt, but he just looks solid. And this is the type of night. I mean, he's still going to have RJ. RJ's not out of this thing. Levi Kitchen's really good. It is not going to be in a walk in the park, but man, he's been hanging around for so long. It would kind of be, even if you don't like Smith, it would be kind of good to see him get that win. Michael, yeah, I cannot wait until I would like to see it. Here's the thing about Mosman. I mean, people forget this guy won Supercross. He won a Supercross race, and he almost won a whole bunch of Supercross races. He's really, really good. Do I expect him to come jump right in and be that fast? No. But yeah, he's on a really good motorcycle in the Star Bike, and yeah, he's there. Scotty Boy Dexter. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. And Club MX. Okay. You guys know Garrett Marchbanks. I'm a huge Marchbanks guy, and I love seeing him get on the podium. But even being, you know, somebody who talks to Marchbanks regularly, I cheer for him. I still wanted Phil to get that podium. That's a lifelong goal. Phil is a gift to this sport. Phil to get that would have been, at least they gave him an interview, and damn, his interview was great. It was sad. It was sad to see him, you know, and Marchbanks, I had to ask him, why do you got to punch Santa Claus in the face? Come on, man. Like literally, how do you like passing Phil for a podium? That's like knocking down a little kid to get like a baseball at one of the games. You know, see like a grown ass adult knock down a little kid. I feel like that's what Marchbanks did. Yes, he's a racer. He's got to do what he's got to do. But man, I think anyone who's been around and seen Phil grinding and hear his personality, and yeah, it was tough. But hey, racing's racing, you know, and you got to earn it. Nothing's given out there. And I felt really bad for Max Voland. Max smoked that clutch. I mean, he was out there riding hard. Ah, I really thought he was going to be good, but you can't smoke the clutch in that. I mean, even if it's a 10-minute race, you cannot ride the clutch, and it is what it is. So, some other things I noticed. Well, Kitchen, good points. But how about Hunter Yoder? Quietly got up there. I believe he ended up seventh. Hunter Yoder, I don't know if you guys saw what he did in timed qualifying where he hung a left on the triple jump and landed off the side on a hay bale short. This dude must be made out of granite. He was like, he came up short and the jump blew apart, not him. It was crazy. You got to watch it. Go over to Hunter Yoder's Instagram. He's got it posted up there. It's gnarly, but good on Yoder. He is quietly doing really, really good. Shout out to Slade Smith. His name? I'm sorry, Slade Varola. Slade Varola for the HBI racing team got his first ever main event. And while I dislike rain events, like mud sucks. Mud flat out sucks. It's boring. It's a survival. It really is. Yeah, I saw RJ do that too. RJ's another good dude that's just made out of granite. I don't know how he does it. But mud, as much as I dislike mud, it's a great opportunity for some of these privateers or guys like Shane McElrath, like Lewis has just said there, guys like that to get up there and get a finish that they're probably not ever going to get in the dry. And you got to seize those opportunities. And yes, it kind of sucks to see some of the guys that are more talented have an issue, and you know it changes up the points quite a bit. But the way it went tonight was awesome, because I'm not going to lie, people were asking me last week if I thought Jett could get a perfect season, and I wasn't going to say no, because I mean that's how good he looked. But with him getting ninth or 10th or whatever he ended up, the points look good. Now he's behind. Now we have something to watch for a little bit. That's not a big points gap. It's not going to end up hurting him. But I was disappointed. I really expected him to ride a little bit better. He really did kind of flounder out there. And I think a lot of the pressure of the mud is the scariest for guys like him that have everything to lose. When you have everything to lose, the mud stresses you out. A guy like McElrath, he goes out there and I mean, he's not going to do good in the dry. So there's literally nothing to lose. But a guy like Jett only has something to lose, because if it's dry, he's probably winning. But now that he lost, Chase won, Eli got second. It's crazy what confidence does. I was chatting with a buddy of mine about confidence, and confidence is scary. And it does not matter where you get that confidence, whether it be a mud race, whether it be a fluke. Yeah, I talk about the way that I talk about the belt in UFC. If you get that belt, all of a sudden you believe you're better. You have confidence. You get like 20% better. And you can use like a mud race to gain that confidence any way you get it. It doesn't matter. You still become a guy. You still got that finish. And when you look back in the record books, it's still there. But yeah, Joe Shimoda, man, that was a bummer. I really felt bad for him. Broppinen, how do I feel about Ricky's commentary? You guys know how I felt about Ricky's commentary. First off, he's got a lozenge in his mouth during one of the heats, and you can hear it. And he's like choking on it. And I'm like, dude. And his analogies, is there anybody who makes worse analogies than Ricky Carmichael? Comparing ruts and driving a car. What are you talking about? And then he kept making weird analogies all night. It's like somebody told him, dude, you've got to relate to people, make analogies. But he is so detached from what regular people are. And he's just awful. I cannot believe he still has that job. And I'm not saying I could do better, because it is a very difficult job. But there are guys who can. Daniel Blair, Grant Langston. Emig was even better than him. Emig says some dumb stuff. But They were all better than him. He is the worst. And it's crazy that he's actually, I mean, he's the greatest racer to ever race, period. And, Jett's got about 10 years of dominating before I'll question that. But yeah, Ricky is just, he's not an announcer. I don't know why they keep shoving him on us like this. They're just detached. But okay, that's enough with Ricky. Let's get into the 450s. So I felt, I like Weege too. But if you're going to put a racer as commentary, I love Stewart. A lot of you guys get mad and say Stewart can't speak well. I don't need the color guy to speak well. I need the color guy to give me color, and stop with these. And when you give your opinion, you don't have to say, well, in my opinion, and he like emphasizes it like he's so scared to piss anyone off. Listen, if you say it, we know it's your opinion. Please stop clarifying that. Just speak. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with Ricky. I got to get off the Ricky stuff because it makes me mad and my blood pressure's going up because it's hard to watch. It really is hard to watch, and it's super annoying, and I don't understand why they do that. Oh, Levi Kitchen. How about Levi Kitchen? Those are there's some good points right there. Like Levi Kitchen to get, a third and a second. Boom. Spike, you can take down aspirin. Let me give you a Ricky analogy. So if you take an aspirin, it's like if you walk to your kitchen, you open the cabinet, you twist the bottle comes off, you take the little thing, you put it in your mouth, and then sometimes you swallow, but then sometimes you choke. That's how Ricky would tell you to take an aspirin because he's Captain Obvious, and it drives me bananas. Even put Jason Thomas in there. I like Jason Thomas. Jason Thomas gets to the point. He understands how to talk to normal people, and that's all I want from my color guy. And you don't have to be the best racer in the world to understand how to talk about it. And like I said, I'm not saying I could do it, and I'm not saying it's an easy job. I'm saying there's about 1,000 guys more qualified than him. So somebody tell me why Joe Shimoda was last. Well, he crashed on the first straightaway, and then something happened to his bike. I don't know if he smoked the clutch, got it wet. Something happened to Joe's bike. That's a mud race. When you crash and do that stuff, it's wild. It's a bummer, because those are big points in a series that's half the length of the 450 class. Those points matter, and he's so far down right now. And there's too many good guys. You got Hampshire, Smith, Kitchen. Those three guys alone. Good luck catching those guys. I mean, if there's only one guy way out there, you can maybe hope for one guy to have an issue. But when there's three guys, Dino, what's happening? When there's three guys, you're not going to get that out of it. So, but yeah, I despise mud races, but they're good. They're different. That was kind of fun watching that tonight. I was glad they got rid of the whoops because it was brutal. So Duffy Hurts. I'm stoned. I was crying, laughing, thinking you were saying what you need from the color. Oh boy, geez, no, I didn't say that. Don't get me canceled on that one. No, color commentary guy. Color commentary is not the guy making all the announcements and reading the ads. It's the guy who's experienced in the sport that adds to the professional announcer. That's a color man in any sport, and it has nothing to do with what they look like. They add color to the announces. So, yeah, the racers didn't look like they liked it. I mean, when it's so bad that you have a hard time after you cross the finish line to get off the track, it was brutal. It was brutal. I can't imagine. I did speak with Josh Greco. You guys know privateer Josh Greco. And I just wanted to check with him and see how his day went because he was looking really good. He was looking like he was probably going to make the main event, but he had some issues, crashes. Let me just explain to you how this privateer thing works. And part of the reason I always scream for more money for these guys that make the night show. So Josh Greco makes the night show, almost makes the main, and you're hanging with my sister. Are you wearing her pants like JT? So anyway, back to Josh Greco. This poor guy, the gear company that sponsors him gives him one set. This poor guy's running one set all day. I asked him about his bike, and he was just like, "Dude, I'm beat. He's got to wash his own bike, do all that stuff." He doesn't. He's like, "I might replace the chain before next weekend, and I definitely probably should do a clutch." But this dude's like race to race, and I mean, it's just we've got to figure out a way to get the back half of the night show paid more, whether it be just making the night show money, whether there's got to be something so that Josh Greco, because honestly, I think it's a danger if Josh has to go out there and even yes, he doesn't have to go out there, but he's a racer. That's what he's doing. He's trying to make it work on a minimal budget, and he's going to go out there on a chain that was at this race. He's going to use that chain on a supercross track. It's kind of dangerous. If anybody out there has a chain or clutch or wants to help out Greco in his program, hit him up on Instagram. I'm sure he would accept it. He's a great guy. He'll probably have you come by his pits or whatever. But yeah, Josh Greco's a good dude. And if anyone wants to help him out with, you know, it's like a bodybuilder competing without steroids, 1000%. And don't get me started on steroids in the top guys too. That's another huge. I'll just leave that one alone. But there's no real drug testing. They have this drug testing company that does like if you it's the same kind of company that like employers use to screen their people. Trust me, they're not catching anybody for anything, period. It's just so they have it to say they have it. Let's see, Mike, I don't understand how pro burns up their clutch. That's a good point, and I agree with you. And these guys need to understand that, and they need to understand it is a treacherous race out there. Go easy on your clutch. And these teams that have hydraulic clutches, I think they should probably have a cable backup system for like how Eli does. Eli uses a cable so these guys can adjust it, or there's got to be some sort of a solution. Yes, I understand it's only one race a year, but think about the hole that poor Joe Shimoda is going to come out of now. I mean, if you're Team Honda, wouldn't it have been great to switch to a cable and have him salvage a 10th place and he's still alive for this championship? I mean, he's technically still alive, but it's going to take nothing less than a miracle. But I think this could jumpstart Jett or Sexton. It's going to be interesting now. Now this is the first time in Jett's 450 career that he's behind the 8 ball. I mean, he started the outdoor series out perfect. I mean, he did really good. In super duper cross. But this is pressure, and he's got Eli. He's got all these big names there. Is he going to come out next week in San Diego and go bonsai and possibly make another mistake, or is he going to just cruise and we'll see. It's great. It adds a lot of excitement to the series. But all right, guys. Well, I just wanted to check in with you guys. Yeah. I don't think mud is his kryptonite. I really don't. I think that he just rode conservative. I think he went out there with the mindset that I want to survive tonight, and you had to kind of attack that track a little bit. And when you didn't attack, then it actually bit him. Michael, I can't believe they didn't interview Jett. I'm okay with that. The dude got 10th. You shouldn't interview 10th place. I understand he's the huge superstar, but you can't interview 10th place every time. Maybe if it was like 1 or 2 rounds and he was tight in the points, I can understand interviewing 10th place, but no. I was just stoked they gave Phil Nicoletti an interview. That was awesome. So, and it's nice to see it. The good thing about this is it did kind of invert the points a little bit. So Ken Roxon's bad finish, bad luck, whatever you want to call it, at Anaheim, he's right back in it. So yeah. Yeah, poor Nicoletti. Marchbanks just like punching Santa Claus, man. It was brutal. It was, but hey, good on Phil. I mean, it would almost take away from what Phil is. Like that's Phil, one place out. We'd all like to see him get it. Honestly, Phil getting third would be like when Brayton won Daytona. It would be just amazing. So, oh, okay, you didn't want him to, but you thought they would. Yeah, they probably would, but yeah, I mean, I understand it. They shouldn't, but I understand if they chose to because he is a superstar. And anytime you put the superstars in there, you get ratings, and that's kind of what people want to see. But anyway, guys, got any questions before I call it a night? I'll check through here and I'll hang out for a little bit. Dino, Phil is absolutely a class act. The sport is going to miss him when he leaves. I hope he stays around a little bit more. Michael, you brought it. Okay, Michael Treese, you just brought it. What about poor Vince getting docked? I didn't see it. But I almost feel like they're laying and waiting for Vince to do something. And anytime Vince does something, they're not going to let him slide. Because Hunter cut out that whole whoop section. And to me, on a regular day, that wouldn't gain time. But I thought Hunter gained time. And I thought Hunter might get docked 1 or 2. Um, yeah. Ronald Myers, you're still not convinced Eli's fire is back. Yeah, that interview afterward was puzzling to me. I don't know. Yeah, Hunter did it twice in a row. So I thought for sure he was going to get, if anyone was going to get docked, it was him. But I feel like I said, Vince has done enough in the past. Vince is, I mean, he's like someone on parole. You just can't do anything wrong because that's his name. Um, it is what it is. But I was glad to see Vince racing. I'm glad he wasn't injured severely. That pinched nerve is better. So Hunter had a good line through the whoops. It was a great line. So anyway, guys, I'll do a full wrap up, do some videos this week. But I want to thank all you guys. The mob kicks ass. Hope you guys enjoyed the race. And we got San Diego up next. I love San Diego, and I am crossing my fingers. Please, no more mud. And what would be really interesting, I was thinking about this. Could you imagine if this was a triple crown? And we got Anaheim in 2 weeks, and it's the only triple crown that doesn't have a roof on it. So we could have a mud triple crown because we haven't had one yet. How is that going to go? So anyway, guys, great night, and I will catch you later.